You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life.
Greetings and welcome once again to Knowledge for Life's Knowledge Cipher, where we address issues of health and wellness in the Black community. And before we begin, if you enjoyed our past programs, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and send it to family, send it to mama, send it to papa, send it to everybody in your family, because it's important today that as a people, we focus on our health and wellness. There's a number of different diseases that are resurging, if you will. They just had polio over there in Palestine. You got whooping cough. You got the bird flu. You still have the COVID-19 that is around. And as you all may remember, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the scientists of this world will not be able to figure out the COVID-19 because it is a plague that is sent from God. And you can believe it, or you can take it, or you can not believe it. But today what we're going to be talking about is youth violence. This is part 2. But of course, you know, when we talk about youth violence, that title, we're not talking about the youth acting violently. We're talking about the violence that's being perpetrated on Black youth. So with that, I want to introduce our guest today. And we'll start off with sisters first, Sister Chikia. And before we introduce you, we're going to go to introduce my brother, your brother Musa. And greetings. How you all doing today? Wa alaikum salam. And for those who may not know, real quick, when we say assalamu alaikum, because there's always a teachable moment. So when we say assalamu alaikum in English, that is not just peace, but that is actually in the Arabic language, that's a prayer of peace. May God's peace be upon you. And when we look at the word Islam, Islam means peace. And one of the things that we're all striving to have in our life, especially today, is peace. Peace and some form of security. So with that, I want to just, if we can, get right on into the topic. Okay. All right. So, youth violence. I want to start off. If we can start off with yourselves, and if you could help us to understand how your personal experience shaped your understanding of youth violence in the Black community. And as I say, we'll start off with sisters first.
Okay. Well, most of the youth within our community, we are strong spiritual beings,
right?
You know, and a lot of the things in the system are built to break down that spiritual connection that we have with Source, and also that belief of who we are, that like remembrance, right. And not just kings and queens, but gods and goddesses. You know? And like I experienced it a bit in school, you know. Hearing things that make you doubt self, or it's like seeing things on TV shows, like the people that I resonated with were the people that they made to look crazy, or they made to not look like they understood enough, or that they couldn't function within society.
Right.
But it wasn't it. It's not that they had a lack of understanding. They overstood. They had this bird's eye view of things, you know. And I've always felt that way. It's like a lot of it I didn't experience, maybe because of like my mental strength.
Okay.
I didn't experience much of like programming, but just more of a disconnect with self, a disconnect with my strength, a disconnect with my power, with truly knowing who and what I am, not only as a physical being, but as a spiritual being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things within my DNA of just being a melanated woman that lets me know these things, you know what I'm saying? And we aren't really just educated and taught that much. Instead, we are told that we are B-words, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're promiscuous, or, you know, like that's how they see us. We're money hungry. We need to be sufficient on somebody outside of ourselves. That's that's the attack that is on black women today. You know what I'm saying? To overly people please, which is a form of soul selling. You know what I'm saying? Every form of selling thy soul is what they offer you, instead of forms of how to build and connect with the soul.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. And Brother Musa, how about yourself?
I will start off by saying the attack, like you said, on the youth, violence.
Right.
The attack is violent,
Mm-hmm.
and the attack doesn't always come physical.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, it's not always a physical thing when they're like in school teachings and stuff like that, but you're taught violence.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're taught is destructive to yourself. It's destructive to those around you.
Mm-hmm.
No one teaches you in these institutions to build yourself,
Mm.
you know, or tap into yourself,
Okay.
you know. So
So
it's an approach of violence. As soon as we're conceived,
mm-hmm.
we have violence ready for as soon as we come out the door of the womb.
Right.
You got flag here, flag there, you got this hood, that hood, or you got, you know what I'm saying, the police gonna kill you, or you got somebody handing you something else, a doctrine, somebody else handing you this doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's somewhat violence in every way that they coming from you, like everywhere they coming for you, rather. Like
Yeah.
basketball, that's another form of violence. Go run and jump and be somebody, but really you ain't nobody.
Right.
Or they gonna hand you a football.
Right.
Go run and catch this ball for me.
Mm-hmm.
Be violent
Right.
to yourself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Make me millions. I'll break you off a couple pennies and peanuts.
Right. Right.
You know, so
That's good. So, man, I mean, you all got into some really, really heavy stuff. So I want to just start with yourself once again, sister. If you can talk about, and you talked a little bit about the violence from a woman's perspective. Can you help us to understand why violence towards black women is violence towards our nation of people?
When I say this, I hope it's not like taken wrongly, and I don't feel like by anybody in this room, but like by anybody outside. The genetic code that is in the black woman's womb, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what we hold in our essence is the real reason why we are under attack. Is so we can't continue to procreate. This is our planet. We supposed to govern this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's artificial beings out here, like that's, you know, not original.
Right.
That's trying to cancel out the original. They're trying to wash us out like they did with original people before us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like slowly destroy the civilizations, or just make us believe that we don't have a civilization at all. And our purpose is that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Is to be sexualized, is to overly procreate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and a lot of us, they're trying to stop us from creating. So our men can't create with us, and they can create with them and strengthen their seed.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against anybody, but it's a truth. Their
Right.
genetics isn't made to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real thing. The power that the womb holds of the black woman is the natural genetic code. We are the first beings of this planet. So we are able to produce anything. We are needed for that. And if you destroy that, you know what I'm saying, you're just stuck with what it is that you got, and you just keep rebuilding off of that, rebuilding a new thing, feeding a watered down version of the original, because the original can't function anymore. You know?
Mm-hmm. All right, powerful. Brother Musa, I'm gonna ask you, of course, a different question, but I want to ask you the same question.
yes, sir.
Why is the man important?
Why is the man important?
Why is the man important? You know, what is the value of the black man, especially within the context of the black woman, and in the context of the strength of a nation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First things first, I must acknowledge what the Queen Mother just said, because that's the queen mother, and she was here first. You know, she created asexually with no man before she made us, right? So when you study the etymology, you got to go back to the mother, you know. So, but with your question, how the black man is important in the strength of a nation, right? The scripture even says, honor thy mother and thy father, right? So that thy days may be long.
That's right.
This the mother. This the father.
Right.
You the father. The father of civilization. The father of disciplines. The father of, you know,
Right.
Come on now, I don't really have to go down that rabbit hole, but this is the mother of the universe, the queen mother of the universe. Like, she's cosmic. We are cosmic beings. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than just this planet. It's all us. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the black man, his job has always been to protect and discipline. And when you take the black man away from his family, away from his woman, you get hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? You get Glow. You know what I'm saying? You get that, or you get Meg and all them. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they doing and showing our daughters. I was walking over in this apartment complex, right? And these young girls, they couldn't have been but like 12, 13. I went to go see my cousin. And we stepped outside, we were sitting on the porch, and these girls were walking past singing the lyrics to this song, and it was like, I'm like, where's y'all's mamas at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who taught y'all to listen to this?
Right.
Of all things, like, and it blows me because the black man not gonna allow that, and it just shows that the black man is not in the house no more like that. You know what I'm saying? Or regardless of this is what I believe, that even if you can't be with your parents, father or mother,
Yeah.
you should always still be around each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why in the Bible, a woman was only supposed to have one husband, one partner. You know what I'm saying? Because you got, like I said, she's a cosmic being. This is a cosmic woman, and she holds jury. This woman is a jury box. The black woman is a jury box, and if she lets different energies tap into her like that, that's different energies taking different jewels from her every time. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's teaching these young girls that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why I believe that's just one thing, but protect and discipline. That's our job, right?
Right.
Protect and discipline. You're supposed to protect that young woman and teach her about her jewelry box, her body, her energy, her chakras. You know, so that's
good.
Yes, sir.
That's good. So, you know, if I can say just a little bit about what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach, as far as the black woman, we'll start with the black woman, that we teach that the black woman, as you are saying about that womb, that the womb of the black woman, we are taught, is the factory place where God produces gods. Right?
Yes, sir.
And every little God that is born to solve a problem. Right? Whether the problem be something as big as injustice, to a problem to where we want to just go faster, or we want to, you know what I mean? Something like that. So when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that when you abuse a woman, you are in essence destroying your nation, because the woman produces the child through her thoughts and subconscious and subconsciously, and then she's the first teacher of the child when the child is born. So imagine a society, what a society looks like when you oppress a woman. You have societies that we see right now where they oppress women and they still are living in the dirt, right? because you can't oppress women in your society be great. So as far as the black man, you know that we are the maintainers, we are the protectors, and we're the elevators of women, right? We are, within us, that black woman puts in us the energy and the desire and the will to overcome all obstacles in our path. You know what I mean? But we'll go a little bit more into that in another program. So as far as when we talk about youth violence, what would you all say is something that is not discussed enough when it comes down to talking about youth violence?
The traumatic experiences, like how it impacts the youth. A lot of people like to point the finger to the youth, but they're not realizing that a lot of the youth are just born into it, you know. And I think a lot of things that get looked over is a lot of the ways that they're crying out for help, and a lot of the things that they are doing, their coping mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? I think the hurt get looked over. You know, I think because the generations before us had to be so tough, but it's like I was saying earlier, each generation had a job spiritually, you know, and our generation was just to come down and show people how to love and how to be. The first generation was to come to destroy, dismantle. The second generation was to come and rebuild. The last generation was to come and show how to live through this new vibration, and the mark was missed. A lot of us have to work overtime. A lot of us have to pick up the slack of the people before us, and our job is really just to be. So a lot of us don't, since we don't remember who we are, we don't understand that. So a lot of us are mad about that, and the anger is being misplaced, you know. But a lot of people don't see the hurt. The generations before us had to be stronger than us. You know what I'm saying? They had to have the thicker skin, so they don't get, like, they wasn't able, they didn't have the luxury of emotional intelligence like we have. We born with it, you know, just from seeing, just from feeling, just from having to hold spaces for the ones over us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For being natural energy transmutation devices for the people around us. Like, all of that is looked over, and don't nobody see that, like, we generators for energy for real. But it's like, if the machine beat up, how is it gonna work right?
Right.
You know? And I think that that's the thing that's missed. Like, no, everybody say, yeah, the youth is the future, but how serious do they take that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I like Stevie Wonder. He's my favorite artist. I feel like he's the coldest rapper ever.
Okay.
And in the song Pastime Paradise, he was basically talking about focusing on a new paradise, honing and bringing in a new energy and making that what it is. But it seemed like we still kind of missing the mark on that. You know what I'm saying? It's still kind of going over certain people's heads, and it shouldn't, because we all 20 feet tall.
Right.
You know?
All right. And Brother Musa, what about yourself?
I believe it starts with a mental, like she was saying, like, it's a mental thing. Like, it always goes back to a mental state.
Right.
With the masses of the youth. Like, it's a mental violence. It's more of a mental violence that we endure. That even, because when you born, you don't have a care in the world about anything, right?
Right.
But by the time you 15 or 16, you know, you done got into fights with people that look like you by now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You went to school and everybody there looked like you. Or you might say, look, I ain't gonna lie, when I was in school, I was dark. I'm still dark. You feel me?
Right.
They had every joke in the book for my skin color, but these cats is your color, her color. You know what I'm saying? But it's a self-hate.
Yeah.
It's a self-hate. White kids don't be like, oh, look at your blue eyes.
Right.
They don't say, oh, look at your blonde hair. They don't say that to each other. We the only ones that, oh, you burnt biscuit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all types of stuff. You feel me? But that just goes to show, house nigga.
Yeah, I want to just, jump in on that, because, to hear that coming from you, that our people are still, coming at each other like that. And you're a young man. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27?
Yes, sir.
So, like, I'm in the 50s, right? So, it's amazing that we're still failing that doll test.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're still picking that little white doll.
Yeah.
Over that little black doll. We may not pick necessarily the little black doll today because we're kind of conscious that black is what we should pick. But we're still picking that little white doll.
Internally.
When we call each other the N-word, we're still picking that little white doll. When we call each other by, these derogatory, even in fun, making color of that rich melanated skin, we're still picking that white doll consciously. You know what I mean? Subconsciously. We're not necessarily maybe conscious of it, but it's that subconscious that tells the conscious what to do and think. You know what I mean?
Big brother, can I touch on one more thing? Because like I was saying earlier, it all goes back to the mother, the queen mother, right? So boom, if a queen takes all of this supplements, or not supplements, but hair care stuff and all that stuff, chemicals and all that, right? And she put it on her crown. The crown that actually, our hairs actually have a connection to our pineal gland. The nerve, the skin on your hair is the same kind of skin that's on your brain, right? So when you put all of this stuff in there and straighten your hair, fried, dyed, laid to the side, right? Boom, you done killed all your little cosmic energy that you even had.
Right.
And you probably didn't have that much because you haven't tended to the crown the way you should, or you just looking at it like it's hair. Our hair used to be a religion,
right?
But when you got all of these young women practicing another form of mental violence,
right,
physical violence on themselves, this is violence. It don't feel good to get your hair burnt up,
right?
Get your scalp all, you know what I'm saying, with the chemical and the perm and all that, and it's like the masses of the young girls do it. So it's like, yeah, they got you. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's teaching them that neither. Like, that's mental violence. You hate the way your hair grows. You hate the way that God made you. So you want to, even if they just say, it's my hair, I bought it, if it don't matter.
Right.
So.
And yourself, sister, what would you have to say to that?
About the hair weaves?
Well, that and anything else that the brother might have.
Well, that is a
about.
big truth, and like not just with the hair weaves, body dysmorphia in general. And I would say that, and I got like this lip piercing, but it's like tribal tip, right? A lot of women, they're changing the forms of their bodies, like changing their faces. They're not satisfied with their noses. They're bleaching their skin, but they don't understand that melanin holds memory.
Yeah. It
not only like holds memory of your great grandma. No, it holds memory of when we were the real life ancient beings on this planet. So when you do strip yourself from your cosmic connection, that connection to source that we all just naturally have, you not only lose that, but you kind of like gave it away to the opposition. You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's a form of sacrificing self. And I let everybody go through their phases, because I had my phases. Like, I always knew I wanted to lock my hair. I always knew that I ain't really just want nothing too much. I went through like my little phase of a perm, but it burned my forehead, and I was like, no, I can't do that. If it can do that to my skin, what is it doing to me?
Yeah.
Then I started learning about 9 ether beings and your hair telling you what you are, and this being an extension of my nerves. And you know what I'm saying? The more pure it is, the purer my connection is with the Most High. But they don't tell you these things so you can be away from yourself. They want you to put that polyester and synthetic stuff on your hair so it can block your connection. Or it's like, do stuff within your skin. Hate the way that your body look, but it's like, with us being natural melanated beings, we don't have to do too much but just eat right and walk.
Yeah.
And it will be exactly what you need and want it to be.
That's it.
Because it's in our genetic code. And I don't think that the people understand the power of our genetic code as much as they should. Because if they do, they wouldn't even care for that. But a lot of that dials back to like indoctrination to try to get us separate from self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to a predominantly white school in Mississippi. And I had an afro, and I remember them being like, "Can you put your hair down so we can see?" Like, just saying little stuff like that. And they ain't make me hate myself. It made me prouder. Like, y'all just mad because y'all hair naturally go down. And my hair can do, my hair defies gravity. You know what I'm saying? They let you know who and how I am. You know? But if it was like I was raised in a kind of militant household, they knew we was in the South, you know. But if I was any other kid that didn't have that knowledge of self, and not just that I'm Chikia, but this knowledge of, no, I am a child of the Most High. He chose me just because of my DNA. You know what I'm saying? The more I knew that, the less it was hard to break me, honestly. The more I heard it, the more it made me want to get into myself and get into my power and be black in everything that I do. You know? Because I seen them trying to strip that, like, and it's like, dang, they really stripping people away from their power. It's some powerful beings down south who don't even understand. They sit around in nature all day. They walk around with no shoes off all day. They getting sun codes all day.
They getting grounded down there.
All day. They powering up all day, and they don't even realize that they walking superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can hop into Super Saiyan mode like they on Dragon Ball Z. But they just not being taught that. Instead, they being taught to separate themselves from that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't them. That this is wrong. That you country. That you know what I'm saying? That is something off about you. But they call walking around with shoes off grounding.
Now, would you say that, you know, what you're talking about and what you talked about, Brother Musa and Sister, would you say that is psychological warfare?
It is.
Or is there another name that you would give it?
They're attacking us spiritually. It's a spiritual war. They are attacking our spiritual essence, so we can't be who we need to be. They know who we are. You know what I'm saying? They know the ones that was born to change the system. All of this information that a lot of spiritual people tap into, they tap into too. Your government is astrologers. Your government are numerologers. You know what I'm saying? Your government they are nutritionists. They understand the diet. They understand all of this. They know what days to throw something out into the media to throw the masses off because the energy that's in the air. And
we're gonna come to you, Brother Musa, here in a few. So let's relate this to the young people. Now, what all you're saying? What should the young people know about what we're talking about right here, and how can they begin that path or that journey to know what you know and to learn what you learn?
This might sound crazy, but just start breathing right.
Okay.
Learn how to take full deep breaths. Connect yourself with the land, and don't think that your thoughts are throwing you off. And then you got to build this relationship with the Most High, because the more you aim to build a relationship with the Most High, the more you're going to, like, people are going to try to stop you, fog you, you know what I'm saying, make it harder. And you got to know how to differentiate when you feeling a light energy or when you feeling an energy trying to trick you, because it come like that.
So let me go to Brother Musa, because you dropping it so hard. It's hard to move on.
I'm sorry.
It's hard to move on, Brother Musa.
Yes, sir.
No, that's good though. Of course, just help us continue on that conversation.
The kids to the children and the youth and the people my age and the elders, I would say, start looking for God in yourself. Jesus in the Bible said, quit looking for God in the sky.
Okay.
He said, you are the temple of the living God. Right? In the Bible he said this. So
you're gonna make me catch the Holy Ghost.
There is I'm just gonna say it right here, there is no God in the sky, no devil under the ground. You know what I'm saying? There ain't some ghost up there talking about some spook, some writing down everything you doing is bad or nothing like that. That's something that somebody came and taught us. Right. You feel me? About a devil under the ground who gonna barbecue on this barbecue pit with a pitchfork, right?
Red devil.
Yeah, red devil.
Real quick, Red Devil when he come to Europe, but he was a black devil over in Europe. But when he come over here
Red.
and he start facing the red man, now
Red
the devil
devil.
turned red. You know what I mean? So, you know, this system of white supremacy, I think it was Dr. Halim, well, at least I heard it from him. He said, if you don't understand the system of white supremacy, maybe Neely Fuller, but he said, if you don't understand the system of white supremacy, everything else will confuse you. Because the system that we function off of, the white supremacy is baked into it. Every system, the educational system, the healthcare system, just every system. So as black people, I think what we have to begin to be aware of, and I don't think that we should feel, you know, some type of way about it. You know what I mean? Like we should feel bad about saying that the system is corrupt. It's infested with the ideology of white supremacy. As a people, I think that if we acknowledge that and feel comfortable with it and just go about being ourselves, as you're saying, and stop trying to, what is that code switch?
Because we don't have to. We the originals. And then it's crazy that they get us the code switch and step away from ourselves and then be us. They use our culture as a costume. Or act like it's originally them. And that even goes down to our spiritual practices. You know, how we tap into the Most High.
Like the brother said, they have became astronomers. They have became, they done walked on the moon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this goes all the way back to when you had, I think it was it Thales, the white boy that went to Egypt and studied up under all them. He studied up under all them black folks up there.
Right.
Then he
Plato,
came.
I think it's, you know, like you
It was
said,
Thales. Thales was the first
okay.
one.
Oh, the first one.
He was the
okay.
first white boy up there in the universities, right?
Okay.
And then he came back and brought some other smelly bastards, right? And then they came down there and took what they took and took it up to Greece. And then that's when you get all of these statues and temples built over there, and they done crumbled to the ground now.
Right.
Our stuff's still standing strong.
Even if it's been covered in
Feel me?
underground.
Yeah. And it's like these folks have literally, since they've studied under us, they took that and now they know more about you than who you are. And I'm gonna say they, because never mind, but
Yeah.
you know,
But, you know, I mean, go ahead and finish that thought because
they, like you said, they became astrologers and study all of that because they know who they dealing with.
Right.
To the point that now we don't know what we dealing with
Yeah.
or who we dealing with.
So, if you all can give me your understanding of just, you know, how did that happen? I know that when we were brought here, right, we were robbed of our name, our language, our religion, and our culture. And we hear that being said, but we don't understand really that each and every one of those are sciences of life. Your culture, when you say black culture, we don't have a black culture.
We don't. Other than hip hop.
Listen, what are you laughing for?
Man, because big brother, it's so deep. Because like you said, when we were brought here, and some of us were already here, a lot of us was already everywhere. The first Europeans was black. You got the tribes of Ireland that was, we can go back, that's another conversation for another time, but like you said, we was robbed of our language, our name, culture, religion, folkways, mores. They thoroughly robbed you, thoroughly. I'm talking about everything, of a knowledge of self, a knowledge of you, a knowledge of her, a knowledge of, because when we came here, we had our culture established. You know what I'm saying? You got certain people, and most of us came from the Western Peninsula of the motherland continent. You feel me? So Akiba land, which you know what I'm saying? They started there.
Right.
They took the name Akiba land and turned it from Akiba land to Africa.
Yeah.
From Africanus. You know what I'm saying? When like I said, we was talking about Thales and all of them. This dude Alexander the Great, he come and turned the word Kemet into Egypt, his own translation, which means the same thing, land of the black and burnt skinned people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when they thoroughly rob you of your everything, what do you have left to deal with? You gotta damage control now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a traumatic experience.
You got a vacuum.
Mhm.
You got a vacuum.
And
And they say that nothing survives in a vacuum.
That's
So
true.
you got a vacuum. So anytime you have a vacuum cleaner and you turn it on, it sucks up what's ever on the ground, right? So now that means that sucking what was put on the ground for us to suck up was you a Negro, right? That you are a chattel. You're chattel. You're a chattel, which means that you're on the level of this cow.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the level of this farm animal. As a matter of fact, you're below. You're below this farm animal. And so this type of mentality being passed on from generation to generation of white people, right? But to some degree, to a large degree, it's being passed on, and this is what we're more concerned about, because if we get ourselves together, we don't have to worry about them, right? But what's being passed on is the opposite of white supremacy, which is black inferiority. We have what in psychology terms is called learned helplessness. Like that tethered elephant, right? That pulled against that rope when it was little and couldn't break free. And as it grew, it just stopped trying to break free. I can't break free. I'm tethered. I'm tied. You know, and so I think that, and I'm gonna stop talking after this because I want you all to talk. But I think that when you see us as a tethered elephant, when you see us urging each other to vote, where we put more energy into getting each other to vote than we do in getting each other to unite,
Right.
pull our resources, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and do something for self. What's so hard about that? We got everything we need. We got people who are intelligent in sciences and scientists in every area of life, and yet we give our talent, our skills, and our time to our oppressor. And as a consequence, and I'm gonna stop talking after this, and as a consequence, we leave nothing behind for our youth.
Okay, so real quick to chime in on that, a lot of people do hone and build their crafts just to take it to the oppressor, just to feel accepted, just to feel special. You
Yeah,
know?
good point.
And that, I think that's a lot of people goals. They tell people that, I'm in a Black Panther Party. Mr.
Yeah.
B talk about it all the time. He was
Black
saying,
power.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
he was saying that you don't supposed to get better and move out of the hood. You're supposed to get better and build your hood up. You know, a lot of people see that a good day is moving out there where they not accepted, or where they'll get looked at crazy or try to get ran out their houses in crafty ways, because ain't nobody bold enough to just really come to your door and say it, except for them ones, you know. But so like a lot of us are taught that the goal is to be accepted amongst them, when it's not. We're not taught about nation building, when that's the real goal. The goal is to build a nation outside of their nation. The goal is to become sufficient within our own people. But we don't know self-sufficiency, so how can we know sufficiency within a community? You know what I'm saying?
Brother Musa, you want to add to that, or?
Yes, sir. I think it is vital. I believe that it is vital. I repeat, vital. Like lifeline vital. That we teach our daughters and our sons to grow their own gardens. Cause
Good point.
I mean that should be school right there.
Yeah.
Damn kindergarten. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That need to be school at the crib. You feel me? Mama need to be showing them that right now. Daddy need to be showing him how to till the dirt. You feel me? Go get your little sisters. They 1 year just learn how to walk. Get them out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
First
First
God
things
told,
first.
Told to Adam, till the ground. First thing.
And that starts that's the damage control right there, because we not gonna get Black Wall Street again. We not gonna get Rosewood again until we do that. You feel me? Cause it's they busting us in our mouth right now with this food. And we eating it up.
So, Brother Musa, you make up a good point. So, if you're going down that line, give us some examples of how food is being used as a weapon,
Violence.
as violence.
Violence. Let
Right.
me tell you how they calcifying your pineal gland with this food.
Okay.
It's basically turning you to think into a mutated man instead of a godly man, a goddess woman. When you calcify your pineal gland, you become okay. The psychological studies show that 80 to, I'm not gonna lie on the number, I forgot the number. It's like 80 to 90 or something like that of white people have a calcified pineal gland, right? That's your third eye. It's actually an organ. You know what I'm saying? I think you got it tatted somewhere, don't you? The eye, Egyptian eye. Okay, that's somebody else. But it's like the little eye you see in the Medunetters, the ancient,
Right.
the so-called hieroglyphics. There's something else he changed. You feel me? It's called Medunetter, the holy writings of nature, or scriptures of nature. You know what I'm saying? Because we're nature bugs. We are natural beings.
Right.
You feel me? We're not genetically spliced. So boom. When you eat this stuff, well, let me finish. The pineal gland is the organ inside of your brain, right? And it's like right behind your frontal lobe. And it basically connects you. It's your soul. It connects you to your soul.
That third eye, that sixth sense.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you can feel something ain't right.
Yeah.
I remember
Intuition.
I was in my cousin's house the other day taking a nap. He got into it with his brother. His energy, he got into it. He said, "Cuz I seen you sleeping in there." This is like the other day he said this to me. I seen you in there sleeping the other day, cuz I didn't want to wake you up.
Right.
But he went off on bro, but he was on a, you know what I mean, on the low.
Yeah.
And as soon as he left, I woke up and I'm like, what done happened in here? That's that pituitary gland vibrating, letting you know something done happened around you. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
felt his energy. Then cuz come in, oh, it happens. It happens like that. You feel me?
Right. Right.
You know?
That's good. That's good. Because, I think you said it, sister, that you talked about you said something like don't deny the feeling or something like that you had said earlier about trusting yourself and in those feelings or emotion. You didn't say it like that, but you said something similar to that. So that was, that was heavy. So I guess I want to ask the next question is, how do you think that intergenerational trauma impacts youth violence, and what strategies could help break this cycle? Intergenerational trauma. First, I guess, do you all know what intergenerational trauma is, or generational trauma? Okay. So just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So how do you think that, as the question, what is the question, that it impacts youth violence, and what strategies could help break this cycle?
So it's crazy because something that I'm doing within my lineage is because it ain't that many women in my family, you know. So it's been this thing that was passed down from my mom, from my grandma to my mom to me, and I'm like, no, it stops with me. So we all go sit down and talk. And what I realized a lot about our community is we like to look good on paper. So a lot of things we won't discuss. Like my mom was like, well, I don't know if I want to, like, I've came to these understandings, but I don't know if I want to speak to my mom about it because it might hurt her feelings. And I'm like, but it's the truth. So if it hurt her feelings, then she need to gather that wound, heal it, and move on. Just like you had to deal with your own wound that was inflicted onto you from something that was not a truth. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling her, like, retrospection don't always feel good. And sometimes other people don't throw you into retrospection. You could just wake up with a thought that throw you into retrospection, and then you're seeing truths about yourself that's sharp like a sword. And if you get cut by those truths, you have to deal with them. You know? So forget looking good on paper and sweeping everything under the rug, because as a community, we've been sweeping a lot under the rug instead of just being honest. And it's like, so all of this is like built up and it's this big old tower, and now we like, well, how do we get around it? We got to take the rug off. and look at it. Like in the past, a lot of women was getting hit with the black power fist. So then they didn't feel like they had a voice. And then when they systematically pulled the black man out of the house, so first they made him angry and made him seem like an abuser. Then they pull him out of the house, and then they leave these lost and battered women who don't want to feel like that no more. So they channel their inner warrior and become too hard. Then they producing these hard children as women, but they coddling and being soft to their boys. You know what I'm saying? So now we creating these feminine men and these masculine women, and we throwing out the energetic, and it's like, and feminine energy is coming back to rule again, but we so toxic within our masculine energy. Everybody, women and men within our community, we don't even know how to fully accept it. We hiding all these secrets, and we don't want to face our truth because we want to look good on paper. And it's like everybody tries so hard to not look bad around the white man or the Arab man or any man that's not the black man, but it's like you still look bad. People can still see your core. They on the outside looking in, so they can see things that you not seeing.
Right.
But you putting this paper up like, no, this is how we is, and that's why we not taking serious enough. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? Sister, I'm gonna go and watch this program over again. But look, it's funny because it's manifested on a physical level, right? So now when you talk about putting that facade up, right? So now you have social media perpetuating it on a physical level, right? So I swear that if I go on social media and I see that this person is just living this life of no troubles, they don't have no vicissitudes in their life, there's no downs in their life, every picture is a happy picture, I can't follow them no more, because it's not, the thing about it is that we're all hurting. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, if we as black people, black brothers and sisters can just see each other's pain, then we can overcome seeing each other as a Christian black man or a Muslim black man or a Black Panther brother or a Black Panther sister, or look, man, we black, we black. When it come down to it, if you want to go down this road and you want to go down that road, why I gotta be an issue with me, and why I gotta fight you when that white boot is stomping on both our necks? What kind of sense does it make? And I agree with you, Brother Musa. You know how we solve that? We just go and me and you work side by side, raising that corn up, raising them okra, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I want to touch on that too, because she just said something about how and it actually intertwines with the food thing too.
Right.
What she said about how these women is raising up masculine women and feminine men.
Right.
The woman, the new woman does not respect her femininity, and the new man does not even notice his masculinity.
Oof. So
you got a bunch of people eating this. You got men eating a bunch of soy, right?
Man.
Soy is a dangerous thing.
Right.
It ain't good for nobody. It causes cancer, testicular cancers and stuff in us. It causes cancer for women. It also what is it? It make it basically it heightens estrogen in a man.
Right.
So that's why and then you got people eating a bunch of things that got pork products in it, and pork, we know that is the nastiest thing you can eat. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the only sodomite animals that are in the animal kingdom that actually have something with another male pig, and that's, you are what you eat. That's what a lot of these men is out here. It's so much craziness going on, and it's like Dayton is the new Atlanta.
Man.
It's getting crazier and crazier.
Right.
Feel me? And it's like you'll see a regular dude and then you see something on the internet about him.
But you know what, Brother Musa and Sister Chikia. You know what? When you think about it, you touched on it earlier, right? When you talked about the Greeks. And I kind of touched on it when I talked about culture. So culture is a way, it's a code of conduct. It's a way that people have come together and decided that this is how we're going to relate to each other. This is how we're going to treat each other. So when we really talk about some of these behaviors, yes, I agree with you absolutely that it comes from eating the wrong food, but it also is buttressed by or supported by and even fostered by the Western culture, because this was never our culture.
That's why
Never.
they pumping us with a bunch of soy so we can be more susceptible to it. you
Right.
know? And I can't lie. I feel like they spray it in the air with the chemtrails. That air ain't clean outside, and it's
Right.
outside air.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? They poisoning us every way that they can.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not intaking the food, even if I'm not like going to the media, even if I'm like not wearing certain clothes that cut off my like me getting electromagnetic stuff from the earth, you know what I'm saying? Building up my electrolytes just from stepping on the earth. Even if I do just fast for a couple of days and step outside, the air's still gonna do something to me.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, it's
That's true.
crazy.
That's
It's
true.
Like, and everywhere you turn, the only safe space I feel right now in this world is prayer. That's when I feel my safest.
Yeah.
When I'm in a prayer state.
You know? Right. And even there you in danger sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'll be in prayer, you'll be like, Lord, help me. What? This thought coming in. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Please forgive me while I'm praying to you, Supreme Being. But not just and when we talk about that thought, that consciousness, right? That the air is polluted with chemicals, right? It's also the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the atmosphere over America is polluted with ungodly thoughts.
This New Age Babylon.
New Age, the air that because we breathe out our thoughts and we breathe in thoughts, and the air is polluted. It's polluted. And so, you know, when you look at the average American, and you look, as you were just saying, I mean, I don't think that people may have heard that good enough, that this is Babylon.
Oh, she said that.
Oh, you said that. Well, I should have known it would have come from the
Babylon.
This is Babylon, though.
It's Babylon,
This is
most
that
definitely.
mystery Babylon.
Yep. It says that in the book of Revelations. And then it describes the United States in the book of Revelations. It talks about the head of the beast, the mouth of the beast, the paws of the beast, the feet of the beast, and the body of the beast. You got all of these beasts. You know what I'm saying? You got a dragon, lion mouth, eagle wings. That's the dragon, China. You got the bear paws from Russia. That's they mascot. You got the French leopard. That's the hind legs. You got the wings. That's the eagle. And you got the mouth of the lion. London over there in England. That's the baby London,
Right.
Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they put it right there in your face in the scriptures, but we don't. We look at how we were taught. We look at how we were taught the scriptures. How Granny put it in our face, and Granny got the damn white man right there on her living room thing, right?
Right.
Everybody's granny got it. My granny had it. You feel me?
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
we don't need no crystal ball to tell us what's going on now. Like
Right.
we grown now. We about to be 30. You know what I'm saying? We the steppers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We came to step. So it's really time to put something new into the children. Like new literature. Yeah, we remember the little caterpillar and all that, but it's time to bring children's books to the youth.
Yeah.
So they coming out with a thorough knowledge of self. Just like how we was taught about Spot, the little white dog with one black spot on his eyeball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Jane was white. The white boy, he was white. Blue eyes in the book. You know what I'm saying? The dad was white. The mailman white. Only thing black in the book was Spot's eyeball.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and that's that all-seeing eye.
We never seen nothing like that. Like growing up, and I remember being a kid and seeing like the kids, because I went to children's
Right.
It was a daycare that I went to, and it was like I went to a daycare with a bunch of white kids.
Okay.
And it feels different. I remember all the kids, the little white kids used to sing, "The more we get together, the happier we'll be." And I was like, it didn't cling to me until I was like 20. I was 20 and I'm like, damn, that's what they meant. They got that from us.
Right.
They learned that from us. We taught them that. Mm-hmm. That's why they stick together like that now. Mm-hmm. Because they know it's power in togetherness. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if we all, from Church of God in Christ, Church of God around Christ, Church of God through Christ, Church of God no Christ, Church of Christ no God, church with just folks in there dancing and screaming nonsense, the Muslim mosque, the nation, everybody come together. Whose hair nap up when it grow? Mine. Okay, we all on the same page then.
Right.
Like I said, look, I'm glad I just said that like that. Our hair used to be a religion. Our hair used to be a religion.
So I guess as we are at the bottom of this program, let's just look at now some solutions. And this is one of the reasons why I'm really just so happy to have you two here, because you two are an example of young people who are conscious of the technology.
I like that word.
That's the most honorable Muhammad call it technology. It's because it is knowledge. It's tricks, but it's not no just, I'm just going to trip you. No, these tricks are sophisticated. These tricks are scientific. Because anytime you can produce something and put it in somebody's face and call it food, and it's nothing but chemicals, that's a trick. Anytime you can get a whole population to take a shot and they call it a vaccine when it don't have nothing to do with the manipulation of a virus, but it's something that was produced out of a laboratory. The mRNA, I think that's right. So this is all genetic engineering. That's what that is. So we're dealing with a lot of technology. So as young people, I would love for you, Sister Chikia, to start off first and talk about how steps young people can take to learn more about self and to also to escape the traps. Okay. And if you could speak to young women.
Okay, so the first step that I took to liberating and freeing myself, like, I wrote down things, music that I like, shows I watch, food I like to eat, characteristics about myself. And then I asked myself, do I like this song because I like it, or do I like it because I was told to like it? Do I like this food because I like it, or because I was told to like it? Do I dress this way? You know what I'm saying? Everything. I like get down to the meats and the potatoes. You can't skip the work. So, like, get in solitude at times. Step away from your phone at times. Sit down and ask yourself questions about yourself. That's the first step. Get to know yourself. Like, ask yourself things. Go out with just yourself, because everybody feel like they need somebody, and you good. Be able to go out with yourself. And I feel like the more time you spend in solitude, the more time you spend listening to yourself will guide you. Like, I just won't be hungry some days, and I just won't eat. Or I'll stop craving something that I used to indulge in that wasn't that good for my being. And I will say this, don't rush yourself. Don't throw yourself out of alignment. But if you could give yourself 4 to 10 minutes a day doing something that will bring you back inside, do something that rewires your brain, then in 3 months that'll pay off. In 3 months you'll be doing an hour long. You know what I'm saying? By 6 months it'll be a whole day. Yeah. And you'll be so and I always tell people mindfulness. You know what I'm saying? Slowing down. Right. Being present and just being mindful. Like, all of us, we on this fast microwavable. Everything is microwavable. Everything is so fast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We gotta move so fast. The time is going faster. All of these things. We don't have time to sit down and just call our time and be.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand grind culture. I understand how society is. I understand that breaking free from the society isn't something that can happen in a day.
Yeah.
I feel like for young people, we need to learn homesteading.
Mm-hmm.
We need to learn things to build a new nation, because we're going to be the ones that have to build that new nation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, because I really want you to now just focus your attention on young girls,
Young
right?
girls.
Because we got a society now that is completely undressing all women, undressing women, but at the same time undressing women in our on our radio stations. The message that is being played that is targeted towards young women, from what I hear, is not a message where it is a self-empowering message. This is what they're being told, but it seems to me that it's a message to lower yourself, to be objectified, and to really use your femininity in a way that is unbecoming. I'll just say it that way.
Well, first, for young women, we need to learn to be self-sufficient, and not in a way to where we don't feel like we need anybody, but a way to where we could generate within ourselves. So when we connect with somebody else, if it's a time where they can't generate, then we can do that. So if it's a time to where what's going on around us gets stripped from us and we have to be in the wilderness alone, we could survive, and we won't be spiritually or mentally raped, you know what I'm saying, out of our birthright, because we feel like we're in need. So they do have us feeling like we're in need. And another thing is, we need to teach these girls how sacred their reproductive organs are. We are walking portals. I am a bridge from heaven to earth. And a lot of females, even women who had babies, don't even understand that. You house a soul in your body.
Man,
that's deep. You know, and they don't understand how deep that is. They don't understand that during this pregnancy, you need to treat yourself in a certain way so you could procreate an angel and not a demon. They need to understand all of these things. They need to understand that when you having sex with these men, you taking them to heaven. Or if you letting a lot of demons releasing you, then you taking these people to hell. And you need to understand that your reproductive organs are so much more powerful than just bringing you money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Than just to satisfy a man or to satisfy yourself. This is really something sacred. We are we're incubators for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We are the bridges for the people that He's sitting down to do His job. You know, that's sacred. And they don't understand how sacred it is. That's why they just giving it out so freely.
Right.
They understand that it's a power, but they don't understand the power.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the thing.
That's good.
I mean,
good. Thank you.
I mean,
right.
I
mean,
I honor
for
y'all.
sure.
Thank you.
Oh, sister, man. You know, I had this thing over here as like a little sweat towel. And, you know, because it was warm up in here, but I was going to grab it to start wiping some tears away. She's going to make me cry because that was so beautiful. And it wasn't, of course, and it really was almost to the point of tears, because, you know, what gets me emotional is one time I listened to a lecture by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I listened to that lecture and all, you know, every time I listen to certain lectures, you know, tears almost start coming. The minister, Fred Hampton, they're just even Martin Luther King. There are certain points, or there are certain speeches that are just so powerful.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite speakers, I know this is off the point, right? But one of my favorite speakers, I love Malcolm, but one of my favorite speakers was Fred Hampton.
Oh yeah.
He was lit.
Man, Fred Hampton.
He was lit. Fire.
He was on
fiery.
He was on fire.
He was so fiery, man. That man was so, oh my God, he was cold blooded.
Right.
He was in your face with it too, like,
yeah.
This is what we facing. This is what we can do about it. Who coming with me?
Right.
Like,
yeah. And you know, the way that he was able to communicate, cut across racial lines, it didn't matter.
Anybody. He talking to everybody.
And so last week we did a program and we talked about the COINTELPRO, And to imagine that right in his governmental program, that he's talking about looking for a Messiah figure. We should stop right there and just stop at Messiah. Why would you use that type
word.
of terminology? See,
This is
I'll say
biblical.
why is because, like you said, he know more about us than we know about ourselves.
I believe,
Right.
my brother, that it's a biblical thing, and they know they dealing with scriptures being fulfilled.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it says he gonna come again in the scripture.
Right.
But if you take, oh my goodness, if you look into the scriptures that was taken out of the Bible, it blow the whistle on everything. Look into the
Yeah.
Apocrypha, the Book of Sirach. That's the most powerful one.
Right.
The Book of Sirach gonna tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
You feel me? Look into that Apocrypha. You look into Barnabas and Simeon. Simeon and Barnabas, them, oh man, them brothers right there. Whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers. I'm
Right.
telling you.
Yeah.
Another thing, like with the return of the Messiah, a lot of people thinking that it's just one person, but it's a form of consciousness, and everybody that reached that level of consciousness make up the body of Christ. You know what I'm saying? So the Messiah isn't one man. It's me, you, and him sitting here right now having this conversation. It's everybody becoming aware and seeing like, oh, we
Yeah.
can just go inside of self and go up.
Absolutely.
And once we go up, then we can't be affected. That was the whole purpose. That was when Christ reached Christ. He wasn't born with the last name Christ. He went off and he acquired the title Christ like Dalai Lama. And
title.
then he came back because that's a state of consciousness. But and they've been preaching to people for centuries that it's one man, it's one person that's gonna come back, but it's not. It's
Right.
a consciousness,
Right.
and it's here,
Right.
like it's back.
Right.
We just gotta tap into it and make up this body.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. You know, to just veggie back off of what you just said, right? I hear Brother Amaha always saying this, and I'm not sure who it comes from, but he always says that we are the answer that we have been looking for.
And that's
We
true.
are the answer that we've been looking for. Now, when you put that in the context of the of Islam, Islam says that Allah will not change the condition of a people until the people change themselves.
And that's the truth.
So what is that saying to you? That's saying that if we want change, change is going to have to come from within.
Yeah, because we'll just
We can't
repeat the
vote
cycle.
for it.
Big brother.
Okay, so but before we go another 2 hours, I want you to finish your thought, you know what I mean? But I want you to talk to young men.
Yes, sir. You just said something about in the Quran when it says that Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change the condition of themselves. If you look in the book of Joshua in the Bible, I believe it's chapter 13, verse 11, or chapter 11, verse 13. I forgot which one it is. It says, the moon stood still and the sun stayed until my people avenged themselves upon their enemies. And then it says, is it not written in the book of Jasher? But if you look in the King James text, the NIV, the RSIV, you can't find no book of Jasher. But it says clearly in the book of Joshua 2 times, Jasher. Look in the book of Jasher. Go to the book of Jasher. But you got to go find lost books. So in the book of Jasher, it talks about that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you say you talk to the black men about
Yeah. If you want to talk to all youth in particular on how they can begin to take that journey towards self-awareness, and to also avoid the traps of this society. If you want to talk to all of them in the beginning, that's fine. Or if you want to go straight to talking to the young black men, that's fine.
okay, I want to talk to the young black men. The young black men, listen, what y'all need to do, what I would say is, first, don't ever doubt your powers as a black man.
That's good.
Don't ever doubt yourself as a black man. Always know that you are him. You are him. You feel me? So can't nobody say nothing low vibrational about your being unless you let somebody say take you down. But that's why you always got to be in your mind, black man, about self. Build self, work on self. Do 50 push-ups soon as you wake up.
It's important.
Even if you not even in shape or nothing, just
That's
do
right.
50 every time you wake up or before you go to bed. Young black man, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Start reading. Get off that damn phone. Read a book. You feel me? Read a book. Don't look it up on your phone and audio, none of that. Read pages. Turn pages. When you turn real pages, you start realizing pages in your life. You start really realizing who you are. You discover who you are, even if you are studying from a white philosopher or a white book of literature. You actually have books written to you, and literature is how you're gonna find out your mission.
Right.
Read, black man. Read, black man. Every day, read something. Read
Right.
everything you get your hands on.
And is there a book that you can think of that would be good for them to?
I would say every black man, if you can read, if you old enough to read it now, read it later in life, read it a year later. If you 7 years old, you struggling with the book, read it. It's called The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley and John Henry Clark. John Henry Clark was just a collaborative feature on the book. But Dr. Michael Bradley delves into the history of the Western man, the Caucasoid man, the Mutinoid man, who came from the caves and hills of Europe. And he goes and delves into why he's so bestial and how he's so violent and where he got this mentality. But John Henry Clark, he goes and actually does research with the Dr. Michael Bradley, and they collabed on this book. But it's Michael Bradley's book. Read The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley.
Okay, I got that book.
I got that book.
So as we close this on out, man, I mean, I would love to definitely have you both on the program again, because I love this, just the spirit that you all came to the conversation with.
Oh, thank you.
I love the spirit that you all came to the conversation with, and I really believe that, you know, young people watching this and even elders watching this will get a new understanding, I think, of the time and what needs to be done. Because my whole objective in having you all on here and having these type of conversations is because our youth are the future. Our youth are the future. Our youth are the future. I think that we may think that a nice car or a nice home, or maybe we may think that voting or whatever. No, our youth is what we should be focused on today, and growing food.
Yes, sir.
Because they need to eat. but our youth, man, and for me, you know, I see the debates going on online between maybe the Muslim community and the Hebrew Israelite community, or Christians and black Muslims, or the wealthy of our people and the poor of our people. But the real truth is, it's just like you said, we all have a common enemy. I remember it was Malcolm who said, I think it was when Stokes was shot, Ronald Stokes, I apologize if I don't remember his name fully, but when he was shot, he said they didn't ask him what his religion was. They didn't ask him what his religion was. They just saw that he was black and they start firing. I wonder what they asked before they shot Breonna Taylor. I wonder what they asked when they killed Michael Brown. What's your religion? Oh, you can walk on by, you good. They didn't say that. They saw that he was black and they began to shoot. So I think that, you know, on an all serious note, because it really hurts today to see our young people turning even to suicide because they don't see no hope. they don't have, you know, to some degree they have rejected spirituality, or not spirituality, I'm sorry, they've rejected religion, right? Because they see not just some hypocrisy in it, but they see that to them it's just a ghost. It don't have no power. You know what I mean? Because it definitely didn't have power in their lives, because they're looking at a future where their mothers and fathers and great grandmothers weren't able to change their condition in the road that our youth are headed down at all. And our youth are headed down a pretty bleak road unless we begin to focus on our youth. I'm sorry, I get into that little.
I was gonna say, the kids have been watching my mom and papa go to church. I seen it. My cousins, we used to go to church with our grandparents, and we see these movies of slaves go to church. I mean, and we see all of that. We see the government. We see votes and all that. Oh, well, black people got to vote back then, and now we can vote now. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like we was talking about earlier, if the church was doing something for the youth, it'd be a pinnacle in the hood somewhere. One church, but I don't see one church being that for the youth. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was something like that going on for kids and people our age, like with kids and stuff like that, doing programs for the children, actually teaching them about themselves and doing stuff, growing food, whatever, they would be like, oh yeah, I want to go to that church. Oh, I know him. That's pastor such and such and so and so. He be doing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you go in the hood right now, don't no kids know about no pastor or no church or no government assistance like that actually do something for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the government, the Congressional Black Caucus we was talking about earlier. If they was doing something for the community or the kids or the youth, they would know them. They would know who. They would pinpoint. Oh yeah, that's such and such. He do this for us. You know. But if you go out there, you won't find one person, one kid, one teenager.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. And, you know, I just wanted to, and then we'll close this on out. And I think it's really, you know, important for us to not get in our feelings. You know, those who are Christians, and the same thing you're saying applies to the mosque.
All that.
The same thing you apply to the mosque, to the synagogue.
All that.
The Black Hebrews,
Israelites. All that.
It applies to all of us to not get into our emotions and feel some type of way about what you said, and listen to what you said, because what you said is real. It's reality. And I think that, once again, as a community, we have to all pull our resources and do something for self. We have to do what we are told by white people to do, which is to cross those lines of division and embrace each other. Yeah. So if we can do that to white people who haven't shown us love for I mean the majority, the masses. You might have individuals, but I'm talking right now about the masses of white people who, once again, can go to bed every night and sleep kind of comfortably when the society is built off of pain, suffering, slavery, and death of the darker peoples all over the world. So right now, you know, we have our cell phones, but there's some little black African child digging in some type of digging in the ground, and carrying, you know, that little lithium. But right now I'm talking about just all the natural resources, whether it's lithium, whether it's diamonds, whether it's cobalt. You know, the people who are extracting these materials are barely surviving, but the people they hand these materials off to are filthy rich. They're laying in beds, and they're gonna. So I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and just wrap this on up, because we got a battle in front of us, as we can see. And so I want to thank you all. before we go, I just want you all to tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll close this on out. And of course, we'll start with you first, sister. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself. And
well, my name's Chikia Armstrong. I'm 26 years old. I'm a philanthropist.
Okay.
A lot of my life is built around not only liberating myself, but my people, trying to be an example. I dance for the Love Locks Experiment. I'm a part of the Black Panther Party. I write poetry. I make clothes. I do a lot of things. So I'm just a light. I think that that's the best way to describe myself. I'm a living, breathing example of what putting in the work look like.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about Love Locks and how people can, because that's a phenomenal local band here.
Okay, so we are a local band in Dayton, Ohio. It's a reggae and funk infused band. I'm a dancer along with one of my Panther sisters. We like choreograph all the dances. Everybody be like, I be hearing grief like, y'all not African dancers, but we don't do African dance. It's a lot of like cultural things. We throw hip hop in there. We throw like just different little things to be fun, because the music is a fusion of things. And it's to show us, that vitality and resilience within us as a people. We don't have to just stick to one thing.
We don't.
So we spread love, man, and spread that heart chakra energy, because that's the point of light workers, is to connect the heart spaces of everybody on the earth. So we just put in light work.
All right.
And we have a website, is LUVLOCEX.com. And you can go there and it'll tell you show dates, and you can get merch and all of that stuff.
Fine, good. Thank you. I really appreciate the energy that you come, and man, I'm gonna edit this, and then I'm gonna watch it probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And so, Brother Musa, what about yourself? And one of the things that we definitely want to make sure that we touch on is, man, that's a tight shirt, t-shirt. Where you get that from?
Oh man, shout out to Quentin Gary on the Envy Apparel.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to little cuz.
Yeah, we about to wrap it up. That's good. I mean, this is all tape. Yeah, I'm gonna edit it anyway. So yeah, go ahead. We're wrapping it up now. So I'll start all over again with, and let me just
shout out to little cuz Quentin Gary on the Envy Apparel. He got me together on the t-shirt side.
All right. And how can people learn more about where they can get them one?
Oh, little cuz he under the radar right now. He do like just regular selling it when he sees his little
nice though.
Friends and stuff, friend groups.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll close it out with you.
Okay. I'm from Dayton. Born, raised. I got a lot of history in like the religious backgrounds. I done studied a lot of religion. Catholic. I went to Catholic school before. My granddad is an imam. So I did security at a lot of masjids and stuff like that. But me, I'm just trying to for real wake my people up. I do everything around, like, I'm a jack of all trades. I pressure wash houses. I pressure wash cars, detail cars. I do car work, little slight stuff,
Yeah.
But I do all of that to She taught me what it was today. I didn't even know what that word was.
Being a philanthropist.
A philanthropist. I do all of that to get my hands in different avenues and network with different people, because if we're going to build a nation, we're going to need everybody.
Right.
We're going to need mechanics. We're going to need gardeners, somebody with a college degree with the medical field and all of that, you know what I'm saying? So you believe it or not, you're going to need dope fiends.
Right.
You're going to have to get them clean and everything like that, but you're going to need them. Most people say like, oh, we don't need them. They too far gone, but you gonna need your people. Them would be some of the strongest people you will run into. Like, is the grassroots people, like people that really don't have nobody. When you look at these people walking the streets like that, I go and talk to those people. I will go down, sit next to the bus, start smelling this nasty stench coming off this man or this woman. But I get down, I get in the dirt with them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's gonna take.
Right.
You know, but
That's what it's gonna take.
yes, sir.
And that's what it's gonna take. That is what it's gonna take right there, right?
Yes,
It's
sir.
for us to see past. We gotta see past the exterior. Because as you all, both of you have so beautifully put, that really we're a spiritual being. We're energy. You know what I mean? And we just solidified into this material.